she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear.
No one could have predicted that David's viral hit Romantic Homicide would later read like a confession until investigators discovered Celeste Rivas Hernandez's body inside his Tesla. With newly released footage now tying the young musician directly to her disappearance, federal authorities may finally have enough evidence to detain the still touring star. What began as a story about a rising indie artist has turned into one of the darkest scandals in modern music: a missing teenager, a double life, and a song that may have been more literal than fans ever realized. Imagine this: a chart-topping musician adored by millions, best known for a breakthrough single literally titled Romantic Homicide. Now imagine that same artist's luxury Tesla being hauled away by police, only for investigators to uncover the decomposed remains of a teenage girl in the vehicle's front trunk. This isn't the plot of a streaming true crime series. It's the grim reality surrounding David, the 20-year-old indie R&B star whose melancholic music once served as the soundtrack to heartbreak across TikTok. The victim, identified as 15-year-old Celeste Marie Rivas Hernandez of Lake Elsinore, California, had been missing for more than a year. The confirmation of her identity shattered her family's last shred of hope and ignited a chilling cultural debate. Was David's art simply art, or had his music been masking a confession all along? Celeste was born on the 7th of September 2009 in Riverside County, California, to a hard-working Latino family. Standing at 5'1" and weighing between 100 and 120 pounds, she had wavy, dark brown hair, brown eyes, and a spirited personality that friends described as lively yet sensitive. Like many of her Gen Z peers, she expressed herself through fashion, influenced by TikTok trends, even sporting a distinctive red ink tattoo on her index finger, a detail that would later prove crucial in her identification. Friends and neighbors remembered her as a bright student with big dreams, though those closest to her noticed changes in the months before she vanished. Her best friend recalled that Celeste had become more secretive, glued to her phone, and protective of her messages. She often seemed caught between bursts of happiness and moments of anxiety, as if hiding something important. On the 5th of April 2024, Celeste disappeared. That night, she had plans with her older brother Matthew, dinner followed by a late movie. She was in good spirits, carefully choosing her outfit: gray pants, a black sweater, a hat, and her favorite Hello Kitty sandals, a blend of teenage cool and childlike charm. She even posted a 6 p.m. selfie captioned, "Movie night with my bro," but she never showed up at their meeting spot. Matthew waited at a nearby park where they usually met, texting and calling her with no response. Their mother, Maria Hernandez, immediately felt uneasy. Celeste never ignored family calls. By that night, the family was driving through the neighborhood, searching for her usual hangouts: the coffee shop, the park, even the mall where she worked part-time. Her wallet and ID were still at home, but her phone was missing. Police at first treated her as a possible runaway, a frustratingly common designation for missing teens, and placed her case low on the priority list. But Maria refused to accept that. She plastered missing posters everywhere and went to the media, convinced her daughter was in danger. She even mentioned suspicions about a boy Celeste had been secretly seeing. Her boyfriend's name was David, she revealed through tears. For 16 months, the Hernandez family lived in limbo. Meanwhile, in another corner of the country, David Anthony Burke, known simply as David, was becoming one of the most unlikely success stories in music. In 2022, Romantic Homicide, a song he'd recorded in his sister's closet on an iPhone, went viral on TikTok before peaking at #33 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its haunting lyrics about heartbreak, delivered in his soft, pained vocals, resonated with millions. The track marked a new era in music discovery, where a teenager with no industry ties could rise to global fame overnight. David's persona only amplified the intrigue. He appeared in music videos as a blindfolded figure, a symbol fans interpreted in countless ways, from emotional numbness to artistic purity. He rarely clarified his symbolism, preferring mystery. Those who knew him in his early career described him as quiet, withdrawn, and obsessed with creating music. He spent most of his time in his bedroom, gaming, writing songs, or chatting with fans online. His direct connection with listeners, mostly other teens grappling with identity and mental health, helped him cultivate a fiercely loyal following. On interviews like The Zach Sang Show, David explained that his inspirations came less from real-life romances and more from empathy, anime, and video games. Still, as Romantic Homicide grew into a generational anthem, no one could have predicted that its title might later sound like something closer to a confession.
But the 4 is like, I replaced the A with it, took out the I. And the 4 is like an ongoing D4vd lore. Like it's 4 universes with all these different characters.
Oh, interesting.
I'm building out this like cinematic universe. In the future is gonna be like a whole bunch of different stuff. I can't spoil too much now, but it's like, I got this blindfold character that you see in my music videos. That's gonna expand into like these different antagonists and protagonists and like a whole anime thing. It's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be crazy.
To his fans, David wasn't just another up-and-coming artist. He was an architect of an entire universe, blending melancholy lyrics with cinematic storytelling that felt bigger than music. His growing cult following thrived on his mystique, the rare interviews, the cryptic online posts, the hidden symbols embedded in his videos. Every lyric, every visual, every social media update became a puzzle for fans to dissect, searching for meaning. As Celeste's family frantically searched for their missing daughter, David's audience was swelling at a dizzying pace, particularly among teenage girls who saw themselves in his vulnerability. His Discord servers evolved into intimate communities where fans didn't just talk about his songs, but confided about depression, anxiety, and heartbreak. The fact that David himself occasionally joined those chats, responding directly to troubled fans, gave them a sense of closeness that bordered on friendship. For many, this wasn't just fandom, it was a lifeline. The overlap between Celeste's world and David's couldn't be ignored. His fan base mirrored her demographic almost exactly, mostly girls between 13 and 17, the same age range Celeste fell into. To them, he wasn't just a performer, he was a kindred spirit who articulated the emotions they couldn't put into words. David's appeal hinged on authenticity. Unlike heavily packaged pop stars, he came across as raw, wounded, and real. His lyrics, dwelling on themes of heartbreak, emptiness, and loneliness, reflected a generation in the grip of mental health struggles. The fact that he was barely older than his fans made him even more relatable. His success seemed attainable, his pain recognizable. The tattoo culture surrounding his brand added another layer of belonging. The shadow design became a badge of allegiance, with countless fans etching variations onto their own skin. Instagram and TikTok filled with photos of fresh ink, turning the symbol into a visual thread that connected his audience across countries and continents. That symbol, once harmless fan devotion, would later take on chilling weight when investigators connected it to Celeste's own red ink shadow tattoo and her family's admission that her boyfriend's name was David. By the time whispers began surfacing online, the pieces were already being assembled. Screenshots spread across forums, allegedly showing Discord exchanges between Celeste and accounts linked to David. Old photos resurfaced, supposedly capturing him alongside a girl who looked strikingly like Celeste. Critics alleged this was evidence of a grooming relationship that may have begun as early as 2022, when Celeste was only 12. Authorities never publicly confirmed those suspicions, and much of the early conversation was brushed off as internet speculation. But in retrospect, the echoes are unnerving. Celeste and David with the same tattoo, her telling her mother her boyfriend's name was David, and the existence of a leaked, unreleased track from 2023 rumored to be titled Celeste. Then came the discovery that transformed rumor into horror. A Tesla, left abandoned in the Hollywood Hills, began to emit a stench so foul that 2 landscapers nearby reported it. When the car was finally impounded and inspected at Hollywood Tow on North Mansfield Avenue, LAPD officers opened the front trunk and found a nightmare. Inside was a body, wrapped in thick black plastic. The remains, decomposed and weighing only 71 pounds, spoke to weeks of decay or worse, mutilation. Clothing fragments clung stubbornly to the corpse, a white tube top, black leggings, a yellow chain bracelet, and stud earrings. They matched exactly the description circulated on the missing person flyers for one 5-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, but it was the tattoo that confirmed the worst. a small shadow etched in red ink on the right index finger, the same tattoo Maria Hernandez had begged investigators to take seriously when her daughter vanished. Though final confirmation came later through dental records and DNA, Maria needed no scientist to tell her the truth. "I knew it was my baby," she sobbed. The description matched everything. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner reported the body as not intact. The level of decomposition suggested death had occurred weeks earlier. But the provisional date was recorded as the 8th of September 2025, pending toxicology and trauma results. The methodical wrapping in heavy plastic left little doubt. This was a deliberate concealment. Detectives immediately treated it as a homicide. Even stranger was the timeline. The Tesla may have sat in the Hollywood Hills anywhere from 5 days to a month before being towed. If its Sentry Mode cameras had been left on, they could have captured who abandoned it, but so far, no footage has been made public. The outrage was immediate. How could a missing teenager's body turn up in the registered vehicle of a global music star? The Tesla was traced directly to David Anthony Burke. David wasn't in Los Angeles at the time of discovery. He was mid-tour, performing in Minneapolis on September 9 and scheduled for Seattle on September 17. His management rushed out a statement. "David has been informed about what has happened. Though he remains on tour, he is fully cooperating with investigators." But the circumstantial connections mounted. The shared tattoo, the boyfriend's name, the Discord allegations, the leaked track named Celeste. To the public, these weren't coincidences. They were a trail of evidence. The fallout was swift. David abruptly canceled his Seattle show, citing unforeseen circumstances. Days later, he vanished from social media, leaving only a cryptic 6-word post before going dark. Major brands scrambled to distance themselves. Crocs and Hollister pulled campaigns, while other partners quietly severed ties. Meanwhile, streams of romantic homicide surged again, this time consumed through a morbid lens. Online, the discourse split. On one side, furious voices on X declared him guilty, pointing to his lyrics as confessionals in disguise. On the other, defenders warned against convicting someone in the court of public opinion without hard charges. One viral comment crystallized the tension. Either this is the most disturbing coincidence in music history, or it's a confession we've been dancing to for years. What made everything more chilling was how closely David's art mirrored reality. His breakout single, Romantic Homicide, describes a lover killing his partner without remorse. Its music video, released on the 7th of September 2022, coincidentally, Celeste's birthday, shows his blindfolded alter ego shooting a girlfriend, then cradling her lifeless body in the rain. Fans once saw it as haunting metaphor. Now, it looked like foreshadowing. On earlier interviews like The Zach Sang Show, David had brushed off questions about whether his lyrics were autobiographical. He insisted he wrote from imagination, observation, and influence, empathy, anime, and video games. But with Celeste's body found in his car, that explanation feels far harder to believe.
It's all of those, man.
Yeah?
It's all of them. I try to include a piece of myself in every part of the music, but I try to get like every different perspective I can, every possible perspective, every possible like viewpoint.
With Celeste's body discovered in his car, fans began dissecting David's entire catalog with new eyes. Lyrics once praised as poetic metaphors suddenly read like clues. What had been art now looked, to many, like evidence, music, murder, and a media circus. By the time authorities officially identified Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the story had already morphed from a single homicide investigation into a cultural firestorm. This wasn't just about a missing girl anymore. It was about an artist whose most famous hit was literally titled Romantic Homicide. It was about music videos that seemed to mirror her fate, about Discord leaks, symbolic tattoos, and whispers of a lost track allegedly named after her. The result was one of the most frenzied media spectacles of the decade, a trial not in a courtroom, but on social platforms where millions debated whether David's music was metaphor, foreshadowing, or outright confession. Romantic Homicide, famously recorded on an iPhone in his sister's closet, had once spread across TikTok as the ultimate heartbreak anthem, scoring countless emotional edits. But with Celeste's death confirmed, its lyrics carried a disturbing new resonance. In the back of my mind, You died divided by, and I didn't even cry divided by, not a single tear. What had once been interpreted as detached mourning was now seen as chilling indifference. Fans combed through visuals and timelines. The actress in the video, with her curly dark hair, bore a striking resemblance to Celeste. The staged death scene, wrapped in dramatic imagery, now looked eerily similar to the way her body had been hidden. Even the release date, the 7th of September 2022, fell on Celeste's birthday, a coincidence many refused to see as random. Symbolism that once felt artistic was suddenly reframed as potential evidence. Years earlier, on the Zach Sang Show, David had brushed off speculation that his lyrics came from personal experience. He described his process as rooted in imagination, empathy, and observation, not confession. But with a teenage girl's remains turning up in his Tesla, that distinction was being questioned more than ever.
I feel like I'm more comfortable with expressing myself and connecting with people in a way that I feel is speaking without singing. Because when I think of singing, it's like, okay, it's this cool thing that not everybody can do, but everybody can speak. Like I'm talking to you guys right now. That's my view on like Romantic Homicide, and Here With Me is like anybody could have made those songs.
Totally.
But critics weren't buying it. The internet split into two camps. Sure, anyone could write about heartbreak, but not everyone wound up with a missing teenager's body in their car. The frenzy reached new heights when a clip of an unreleased demo began circulating, allegedly titled Celeste. The track was said to have been recorded in December 2023. One viral X post claimed its lyrics spoke of innocence lost and a girl who slipped away. Doubters argued the audio could be fake, misattributed, or outright fabricated. Still, for many, the very existence of a song by that name felt like more than coincidence. A comment that went viral summed up the paranoia. He didn't just sing about homicide, he named the victim. This isn't art, it's evidence. The supposed link between David and Celeste extended beyond music. Amateur investigators dug up screenshots from Discord servers as far back as 2022, when Celeste was only 12 years old. The chats appeared to show casual banter between her and an account long believed to belong to David. If real, they suggested the early signs of grooming, a disturbing echo of other high-profile cases involving predatory celebrities like R. Kelly or Jeffrey Epstein. That suspicion deepened when Celeste's own mother confirmed her daughter had once said she was dating someone named David. Another flashpoint came from a detail on Celeste's hand, a red ink tattoo etched on her right index finger. Fans quickly pointed out that David had the exact same design. To some, it was a couple's tattoo, hard proof of a secret relationship. Defenders countered that the symbol was common, sported by stars ranging from Rihanna to Lindsay Lohan. Coincidence, they argued, not conspiracy. But in the shadow of everything else, the tattoo only fanned the flames. By mid-September, the case wasn't just news, it was dominating headlines worldwide. From Rolling Stone to the New York Post, every outlet dissected every angle. On X, hashtags like #Justice for Celeste trended globally. Posts labeled David a murderer, a predator, a manipulator hiding in plain sight. One viral thread overlaid his lyrics with photos of Celeste, connecting dots in a way that felt damning. But not everyone agreed. Critics of the mob warned against digital vigilantism. Without formal charges, could coincidences and rumors really be twisted into a conviction? As NBC put it bluntly in one editorial, the line between sleuthing and slander is dangerously thin. The uproar sparked bigger conversations too about accountability in the music industry. Why, critics asked, did no one notice the red flags sooner? His breakout single literally described a homicide. Rumors of inappropriate contact with underage fans had swirled online for years. Yet labels, brands, and platforms kept boosting his career. On the flip side, defenders argued that conflating fictional lyrics with criminal behavior was unfair. If every artist who wrote about death was guilty of murder, one post read, half the music industry would be in prison. Still, the parallels were undeniable, and for many, far too chilling to dismiss. As of now, the investigation is still active. The LAPD and Riverside County Sheriff's Office are leading the homicide inquiry, with federal agencies quietly monitoring for possible interstate elements. No formal charges have been filed against David. His team insists he is cooperating fully, noting that his tour schedule, hotel stays, and flight records give him an alibi during the time frame when Celeste's body is believed to have been placed in the Tesla. Forensic testing on cause of death and toxicology remains pending, with every day of delay fueling speculation. Lost in the celebrity firestorm is a harsher truth. Celeste's case was initially deprioritized. She had been written off as a runaway, another teenager slipping through systemic cracks. Like so many missing minors, particularly those from working class or minority backgrounds, her disappearance didn't spark urgency until it was too late. Her death is not just a tragedy, but a reminder of institutional failures that have left countless families searching for loved ones without answers. For Celeste's family, the nightmare will never fade. For David's fans, his music now carries a weight it never had before, no longer just melancholic ballads, but potential evidence of something darker. And for society, her story forces difficult questions. Where is the line between art and confession? How should the public hold figures accountable when minors are involved? And in an era where social media can turn speculation into truth overnight, how do we balance justice with restraint? Until investigators release definitive findings, the mystery hangs in the air. But one thing is undeniable. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was more than a headline. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a life that mattered. Now, as the sun sinks over Los Angeles, David's black Tesla sits locked inside a police impound lot. Its metal shell holds the echoes of a nightmare, lingering in the public's imagination like the chorus of the song that made him famous. And a chilling thought refuses to fade. Did the music predict the murder, or did the murder inspire the music? Either way, one girl is gone, one star is under fire, and a world is left demanding answers.